Hello guys, welcome to Java Developers YouTube channel. Today we are discussing the problem number 6, and that is print the range of prime numbers. Already we have done problem on the problem number 3, which is a prime number. There I have told you right what is the logic for writing the prime number. Okay, in we are using the same logic and we are writing we are printing the range of prime numbers from the range of given what they are given. We need to set that. Okay, yeah, and just open the workspace, and if the user want the prime numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, and already we know that prime numbers which are divisible by itself 1 and 1 in, right, those numbers are called as the prime numbers. Okay, and what is the prime numbers like 2, 3, 5, 7, and up to these are the range of prime numbers from 1 to 10. We need to print, right? Yeah. So for that, we need to take the two for loops. What is outer for loop and second one is inner for loop. Okay. And what is the use of outer for loop? Okay. What is the use of outer for loop? I mean, outer for loop basically it will deals with, like, if you take the 5. Okay, if you take the uh currently we are at the 1 to 10, we need to find the prime numbers, right? And we are at the 5. So what the inner for loop has to do right now? Okay, the inner for loop has to check 5 with 1, 5 with 2, 5 with 3, 5 with 4, 5 with 5. Okay, it's going, then count becomes 2, then it's a prime number, right? I mean, the inner for loop is used for iterating. It was starting value should be the 1, right? And ending value what the outer for loop has been given. Okay, that's the use of inner for loop. And whereas if you take the example of 10, okay, what it has to do right now, 10 by 1, 10 by 2, 10 by 3, 10 by 4, 10 by 5, like it has to iterate 10 by 10 times. But it was going, it was going, it was going, it was going. So it's not the prime, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's good, right? Yeah. Let's go ahead writing the code for that. I mean, you have understand, right? What is the use of outer for loop and inner for loop? That's very important. Yeah. Let's take the outer for loop. I have taken int of I is equals to 1. Mm, I is not the prime, right? 1 is not the prime number. So let's start with the 2. It's a range, yeah. You can start it by 2. And no, we can check that whether 1 is not the prime, because 1 and itself is not the prime, right? Yeah. And I must be less than or equals to 10, which is the outer for loop. Okay, I have created the outer for loop right code, and then I go for inner for loop. Int of j is equals to 1, and it has to run, it has to follow the I value, right? I have told you, like, if I take the outer for loop as 5, the j value has to iterate 5, 5 by 1, 5 by 2, 5 by 3, 5 by 4, 5 by 5, right? That means it has to follow the number, it has to follow the I value. Then go for j plus plus. Okay, then before going to that, here set the count to the 0. Okay, let's take the count variable and make it as 0. If we know the condition, we are writing the condition for this, right? If I modulo by j, which is double equals to 0, if that's 0, right, where the 0 cases will appear, this and this. Okay, then increment the count. Increment the count. I mean, in the first case where this will happen, it will increment the count value to the 1. Where this will happen, it will increment the count value to the 2. Okay, that will be running here. Okay, and after that, if count which we set is equals to 2, then you have to print that particular number, and you have to say like, yeah, we need to print the prime numbers within the range, right? Okay, yeah, and this is the code how to print the range of numbers. Okay, yeah, and this is the code for that. And I think I have explained the dry run to here. It's not the bigger dry run, and this is a dry run for our code. Okay, and if you take like, okay, we will do the one more dry run. Like if I take 4, the user at the 4 number where I is equals to 4, and what it has to do right now, the j value which is the inner for loop, that is 4 by 1, 4 by 2, 4 by 3, 4 by 4, right? It's a first iteration where j equals to 1, and it was following the current I condition, right? J is equals to 1 and j has to follow less than or equals to I. That means it was the first case, so it's divisible. Initially count set to 0, but here count will be incremented to 1, and here it's 0 and count incremented to 2, and it was skipping, right? The count is at 2, and here the count set to 3, right? And what is the final comparison? If the count double equals to 2, then only we have to print the particular number. Okay, what the number you have taken, that should be satisfy this condition, then only we can say that the number is a prime number we have to print in our list. So it's not the prime. Okay, I think you guys understood that, and we are going to execute the code for that. Just open the Eclipse. We are writing the code without taking the scanner class at first, and then we are going to write the code with the scanner class. Okay, and let's take int of I is equals to 2, which is the starting number, right? It's a prime. I mean, I want to check whether 2 is the prime or not. Okay, there is a scope for that because the number gives itself and 1. But if you take the number 1, it's divisible by itself. There is no other number within the 1. So I was starting from here. Okay, and I must be less than or equals to the n number like 10. Then I go for I plus plus, and initially you have to take the count. Okay, based on our logic, basically the prime number should be have the count to 2. Initially we set the count for 1, and let's take the inner loop, that will be j, which is running from 1, and j is following to the I, and j plus plus. Okay, if j, right, if I take I modulo by j, that will result in the 0 remainder, then only I will increment the count. Okay, that is count is equals to count plus 1. After the inner for loop, if the count, okay, that is double equals to 2, then only I will print the current number which the I value is holding is prime, right? Yeah. If I run the code, what it will be like 2357, right? If I enter 100, okay, what we are going to get, we are going to get the some sort of numbers. Okay, 2 3 5 7 11, these are up to 100 numbers. We need to print the prime whether it's or not, right? I think you have understood everything regarding this, and we are going to write the code by using the scanner class. Okay. Scanner sc is equals to new scanner, then you take the input system dot in, and then you have to ask the user, okay, that is enter the starting number. Okay, we have the starting number and we will be having the ending number. We need to catch the starting number by using the int method. Let's use start. And what is another thing we have to do, right? We have to ask the user for the ending number. If the starting number is 2, then the ending number should be 10, or if the starting number is 10, then the ending number should be the 20. Like that, we need to print the range, right? So that's where I was taking the starting and the ending, and I was asking the user, let's take the for loop. Int of I should be started with the starting, and I must be less than or equals to the end. Then I go for I plus plus, and initially set the count is equals to 0 condition. Let's go for int of j is equals to, what is the condition? It has to start from 1 and j has to follow the height up to the every step, then increment the j. And if I modulo by j, which is double equals to 0, then only you can increment the count by 1. Okay, after that come out of the inner for loop, then you have to write the condition like if the count double equals to 2, then only we have to print the particular value of an I. Okay, yeah, if you run the code, you will get the, it was asking the starting number is 2 and board is ending number 10, you are going to get 2357. And if I run starting number 1 and 100, it will give the 1 to 100 prime numbers. Okay, and this is the video regarding the printing the range of prime numbers. If you have any doubt, just comment me below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.